Hello everyone! So I am making my own pizza today. I don't know if I've ever done a video on this before. I'm just trying to do some cooking videos because that's what people have asked for. So here I have some cheese that I got for sale. I think it was like $3.97 for this block of cheese. I'm going to grate it myself. Here I have my water and yeast sitting, and then this is my homemade pizza sauce that I froze for the next time I made pizza, and I was just thawing it out on defrost. I would not recommend cooking in a frozen jar because that would make it crack, so you always use the defrost button. And here I am just going to grate some cheese. If you hear that noise in the background, that is the little baby. And yeah, I'll probably fast forward this part. So just grating my cheese. Really just trying to be frugal. I found it was really hard to be frugal for the first little while when he was born because I was so sick. And kind of understand where people, if you are not in a good physical condition, it is quite hard to, save money on things because you can't exactly do everything your own self. You have to buy things that are kind of prepared already, and sometimes you're just almost too tired to cook. You still have a family to feed, and unless you have help from people or have children that are old enough to help, I can see where not being able to save a whole lot of money comes from. Yeah, it's been definitely hard for me. First time I was a lot younger, 14 years younger when I had my daughter, and I had no problems after the birth, and I was back to work within a couple months. But this time around, I've had quite a bit of issues with myself. And there he is screaming. You can't hear that. Alright, that should be enough cheese. Alright, mister. So on to the crust. So for this crust, I had 1 teaspoon of yeast and 3/4 cups of flour. And I'm going to add, I put my cups away. And I'm going to add 2 cups of flour and a teaspoon of sugar and some salt. I just kind of it says like a teaspoon, but I never put that much in, just like that. I don't know if you can see how frothy this is. This is what your yeast should look like. Nice frothy layer on top. Now I'm going to add my sugar. And then it's 1.5 tablespoons of oil. And a half. Now I'm going to add my flour. So as I was saying before, it's been very busy, and I do apologize for not being on here. I'm trying to parent, work from home, clean the house, keep the house clean, garden, preserve the garden, set up an outside, and everything else in life. It is quite busy. How do people do it with a lot of kids? I have no idea, and I definitely give them props because I don't think I could do it. So yeah, I'm just going to stir my pizza dough, and it should look like a shaggy dough after. And then we're just gonna knead it for a bit. And then we're gonna roll it out onto the pans. You can also freeze this dough. It's great for freezing, making ahead of time, and then taking it out a day before your Friday or Saturday pizza nights. This actually makes 2 crusts. Oh, and if I didn't tell you beforehand, it's 1 teaspoon of yeast to 3/4 cups of water. And I just always let it sit for a few minutes to bubble up. And I also add a pinch of sugar to help it rise, like bubble. I don't know what that word is. And it actually helps a lot. And you want the water to be warm, not hot. Otherwise it'll kill the yeast. But you don't want it too cool either. So just above room temperature, I find, is normally good enough. And if you don't see any bubbles in the water, then that means your yeast is dead. I mean, for pizza crust, I've used old yeast. It really doesn't make a difference. You just get a flatter crust. And some people like that. So, yeah. I don't really need it for too long because, again, it doesn't take much for this. It's really hard to screw up this pizza crust. Then you just make it into 2 balls. I mean, this actually turned out perfect. I don't even need flour. It's not sticking to anything. This is how it should be. If it's too wet and too sticky, just sprinkle more flour. But this surprisingly turned out perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna need to separate it and try to get them as even as I can. Then I just roll them out. No, I might just make one ball, or not one ball, one pizza today. Or maybe I'll make 2 because we always like leftovers and I don't have to cook the next day. Okay. And I normally just use these kind of baking sheets. I just put a little bit of oil on them, or not oil, I saved my butter margarine wrappers. Then I just rub them on. So that it doesn't stick to the pan. Kind of feels like a Friday today. Sorry, I'm not talking. Ooh, kind of focus on what I'm doing here. But I would love to hear how all of you guys are doing. It just feels, I do apologize for not being around so much. It's been, like I said, just a handful with this one here, as you can tell. Hold on a sec. Okay, so, I forgot to let this rise, but that's okay. Normally you just put it in a bowl, a covered bowl, for like 5 to 10 minutes to let it rise. But, that's okay, we're gonna do it without. It'll still be edible. I just always start out by flouring my surface, spreading it out as much as possible, and I also buttered and floured my pans, or I guess it's called greased. If you hear that growling, that is baby Wyatt there. Ah, that's funny. And I'm just gonna get it as long as I can. Uh-oh, he's coming. This part is kind of annoying. It never... He's a bit whiny. Then I just throw it in here. He's just always on me. Oh my goodness. He's right by my feet right now. Oh, he's trying to get up. Like I said, it's hard to get anything done. That includes making me dinner. Isabel's out with her friend, so it's just me and the baby home right now. He is hanging on to my legs right now. Oh my goodness, how fast does a year go by, I tell ya. It was much easier when you couldn't move around. Yeah, it was much easier. I used to work in a pizza shop when I was younger. I would say about 19 years old. I worked there for...
I'm just going to stay in that. I'm just going to put my bike in the back. Okay? I love you.
I love you too. What are you doing? Okay, well, that is as good as it's going to get on here. Sit down. Okay. I'm going to do the other one and I'll be back. Okay, so I have already spread the sauce on both pizzas and spread it out. And I have this pepperoni that I got from Walmart for $5. It's already sliced. And we've already used it for a couple pizzas and some croissant pizza rolls and pizza buns. So we've used quite a bit. Actually, I like doing the cheese first. Some people do meat first and then the cheese, but I'm going to do the cheese first. And yeah, so that's basically it for the pizza. It's super easy, doesn't take a whole lot of time. And it is cheaper than takeout. I know you can get those box pizzas, which I think are really great for when you really don't have time or energy to, and when you get them on sale for $2.97 or even $3.97, I think it's worth it. But on the days that I do have a little bit more energy and more time, I still like my homemade pizzas. Okay, so I'm done with the cheese. I'm just going to put pepperoni on. So the cost of these pizzas are quite low. It's about $1 for the cheese on each pizza. And literally maybe, I don't even know, 10-20 cents for the dough. And again, I paid $5 for this bag, and there's a lot in here. And you don't need to cover it unless you're smothering it with. I've already made like 2 plus, I don't know, we'll say 50 cents for, so it's under $2 for each pizza homemade. So I still think it's cheaper to make your pizzas if you get things on sale. And you don't even have to use pepperoni. You can use leftover chicken. You can, and the sauce. Again, I used like a can for 99 cents, and it's made 4 pizzas. So that is, what, 25 cents? So again, that's still under $2. Under $2 for one pizza. And then like the salt and the sugar, you use so little, it's hard to calculate what the cost would be. But because you use it for so many other things, again, it's pretty much worth it to make your own. And it tastes so yummy. So I will show you what it looks like after. And yes. Well, probably cut that out. So here's what it looks like when it's all done, and I forgot to say you cook it at 350, and then at the end I like to put it on broil so that the top gets a little bit crispier and the cheese and the meat as well. Oh, yes, and someone's getting hungry. So yeah, we love our homemade pizza. It's cheaper at home and it's a good way to save money. Bye!